I'm
Taylor
not
stepped
here.
away. This is the time to squeeze in MMA.
Do it.
Oh man, it was
Tony
a
Ferguson
crazy.
fight?
The whole
We get a
weekend was
segue
crazy.
of like
the whole thing got
trans MMA
fucked up.
fighter?
Khamzat Chimaev is now like a fucking heel, a villain. He's taking shots at Khabib and like just being a real
Because
scumbag.
Khabib took shots at him.
Yeah, he did. They're both pieces of shit, though. Did you like Khabib's shots were those crazy? He's like, I look at him and he doesn't have. Good Muslims keep good people around. If he has more Muslims around him, you need some Muslims around you, because when you don't, then you do bad things because you got bad people around. He's like implying that if you're not a Muslim, you're a bad person, and he's really pointing the finger at Darren Till. Like, hey, Darren Till, you're not a Muslim. You're not a good person. You're not a good influence for Chimaev. That's why he's having these other issues.
But there's something.
What are the issues that he had?
So here's what happened. This guy, if you try to make 170 pounds and you come in at 172, 173, you missed weight. It sucks. You did your best. This guy came in at like 180. He missed weight by so much that I don't know. He just fucked up kind of bad. And Khabib said that he didn't have enough Muslims around him. Now, I interpreted that as, here it is. If you're a Muslim, you should have good people around you. Muslims who can say, hey, don't do this. I recently watched the weigh-in of Khamzat Chimaev. I followed what was happening with his weight and looked at his team. There are no Muslims around him, and this is very bad, because if you are a Muslim, you need good, strong people around you that will say, come back, do this. So I took it as, look, this guy lacks discipline. He got too fat. He couldn't make weight, and he missed it by 10 pounds, which is huge. Well, one of the biggest misses I can.
He wasn't trying though. Like that's the difference. Like he stopped trying so early that he just like filled back up with water and like.
Is that what happened? I didn't know that.
Of course, like once he knew that he wasn't going to do it, which was the night before, he was like, yeah, now I'm drinking and eating. Like he went. So it's doubly shitty.
He could have missed by 3 pounds and still had the fight,
and still felt like shit. So he'd rather just replenish and be. If I'm over, I'm over. I'm gonna be over and feel good. You know what? Yeah, give me that. Give me this. So what the worst part about it was at the press conference when he gets on the scale, instead of showing up and being like, I'm way over. I'm gonna let you know I'm way over. We got to talk about this. Like he like flips him off and like shrugs and like, fuck it, I came to fight, not fight the scale and all this bullshit. Rogan let him have it in the post-fight interview. He's like, yeah, but if you're going to be a champion, if you're going to fight, if this was for the belt, then it would no longer have been for the belt. If you miss weight, you can't do that. And he kind of like doubled back and was like, yeah, I guess you're right. And like, but what you've got is somebody who should be fighting at 185, not 170. And like that fight, did you see the guy he beat up in 2 minutes flat, Kevin Holland, I think. Mm-hmm. Did you see his eyes from like the double scratch that happened in that 2 minutes? Both of his eyes are glowing red and like just scratched all to fuck. Like at some point he's like in the guy's eyes playing Xbox, I guess. I don't know what happened.
I
hate him so much. I've always hated him. I don't like him because he's ugly, if I'm being honest. I don't like him because he just seems like a piece of shit.
He's a birth defect.
Yeah, that's part of why he's ugly. That look, fix his lip and he's still fucking ugly as shit. Yeah, look at his eyes.
Fuck.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jesus.
You can't really tell how bad the one that's on our right, which is his left, is because he's looking in that direction, but it's just as bad on the other side as the,
Damn.
By the way, the fight lasted 2 minutes. So like it happened in that amount of time. It was a clobbering, and Nate Diaz would have been killed. Killed.
Tell me this: is there anyone you'd rather see Israel Adesanya fight right now than Chimaev?
No.
I want to see that fight. I want to see the guy who has no ground game yet somehow never seems to have any ground problems, Israel, against a guy who's all ground game and seems to be able to make it about the ground game every fight.
He's more likely to fight Paulo Costa because they've already got beef. Paulo wants that thing. Of course, Chimaev will not want that because Paulo's a big boy. Paulo's a real 185er. He has a hard time hitting 185. Yeah. He's a big man. And I got a feeling that Chimaev cannot throw him like a rag doll, like Kevin Holland. I think that Costa would stand up to that and start fucking throwing some of those clobbering bombs that he throws, and it would be interesting. I love Costa for his antics. I like antics in fighting. during the Nate Diaz Ferguson fight, Ferguson kicked him like 3 times shin to shin, and Ferguson's own shin was gushing blood. If you've ever seen one of those cuts where it's like high pressure blood being sprayed, almost vaporizing, it's doing that. It's running down and he's still throwing it, by the way. And every time he throws it, it makes a blood splotch, like one of those girls who thinks she's artistic, who does that blot painting in her fucking, like every time he's doing that to the opponent with his bloody wounded leg. And he hits Nate for like the 3rd time solid in the same spot. And Nate goes, out loud, he goes, ow! He did what I do when I'm walking through the house too quickly and my pinky toe hangs on a corner. like, and you're just like, fuck! Like, and he stopped fighting, stood like a normal human being, like not an athletic stance, kind of bent over and was just like, fuck. And he starts walking it off. And they're in a fight.
Nate Diaz did that? I didn't see this like you did.
That's funny.
I watched the fight. Away and circling away. The ref is like, I don't remember who it was. I think it was, I don't remember. He's like, come on, work back in there. Nate goes, nah. And he takes, I'm not exaggerating, 10, 12, 15 more steps, kind of walking it off. And Tony's over there, like spinny shit. And finally, after I'm going to say he took a 10-second, 15-second break in maybe the 3rd round, somewhere in there. And maybe the 2nd, but it was hilarious. Never seen anything like it. At one point, Ferguson's being very evasive. He's gotten fucked up. He's got 4 L's in a row coming in here.
His back to Nate
because he doesn't want to get knocked the fuck out.
You can get knocked out while you're not facing your opponent. It's weird that it was so effective.
He's like hiding his chin. Well, Nate's not going to punch him in the back of the head. He won't.
You can punch him he can hook him in the ear.
He can, but he won't. He won't. He
didn't.
Won't.
You're right.
He's being nice.
Okay.
I think he felt. I think he didn't want to tear him apart because Nate never threw any elbows, and I thought that was weird. It was an embarrassing fight for Tony, and it showed that Nate wasn't the Nate of old. Nate, I think, gets smoked by Conor now. Nate, think about what I think of Conor
either.
Conor's big.
He's big, but
as long as that leg is not an impediment to him, as long as Conor can eat leg kicks like he used to be able to and return them as he needs to, if he can continue to check, his boxing has to be so much better than Nate's now. Nate looked old and slow in a way that I don't think Conor is yet.
I don't know. What have we seen from Conor?
I've seen him training, dude. I've seen him running on those when I see that shit on his Instagram, I see him fucking doing crazy cardio shit. And of course, everything's form fitting. He looks like Captain America. But God, he looks big, dude. He looks like a real 170 pounder, like a weird shaped one too, because he's such a odd framed guy. But his shoulders and his neck have gotten so big, broad, and powerful. I don't know.
I agree.
I think
we both want to fuck Conor. There's no doubt about that. I just don't know that he's better at fighting.
I do.
I don't think you can.
After that performance, that looked bad. That looked bad.
I'm not saying you can't beat Nate. I also agree that Nate didn't look great. I just don't know what Conor has anymore.
You know who looked real? Khamzat Chimaev. I despise the man, but he looked like the next generation of UFC fighter out there. Now I know it's one dimensional, but that's what Khabib did too. He looked like a ferocious Khabib that wants to take people out instantly. And Khabib had mercy. Khabib wanted the belt. Khabib's thing, in my opinion, he believes that he's destined. It's like manifest destiny that he is to be champion. And anybody in his way, while he was beating the shit out of this guy, Michael Johnson, I'm telling everybody, he's beating him mercilessly. They're against the fence. Dana White, the boss, is right there. I mean, we're having a 3-way conversation right now. As I'm smushing this guy, this trained fighter that you've put me against, sir, I'm going to talk to you about why that was silly. You see what I'm doing to him? You see this shit? I want your boy. I want the belt. I want the belt. And then he's telling Michael, you must give up. You must give up. And Michael does this backhanded slap because that's all he can do because he's crumpled up like a rape victim. And so Michael goes, and slaps Khabib in the face. And you see Khabib's face change from, you need to give up, man. Come on, to oh, it's like that, huh? Wham! 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 You see how? Now let's talk.
He's more. You need to give up. You know I deserve this. You know it. Yeah.
He's using his forearm, and he has this meaty. He's just slamming him. He can hit that. He's just hit him in this area over and over. And he's, like I said, the guy's bunched up. He's not going anywhere. That's all he can do. And this new guy, though, is just eating people for breakfast and being scary. It's 9/11. It just turned 9/11, like an hour, like 30 minutes ago. And he's like, Allahu Akbar, I'm here to kill everybody. I'm like, shit, dude, wait an hour.
Wait an hour. Like, fuck. That was fucking crazy when he did that. I was watching that and I'm like, I cannot believe that he did that, like, in front of an American
well, you got to keep
crowd.
like when the fight began, he sprinted at the other guy. The other guy goes for a glove touch and he's like, fuck that shit. And he grabs him, throws him to the ground immediately. They wrestle for 2 minutes and it's over. It was over. He's just a real ferocious, scary guy. But I just really despise him. I don't like him on camera and on the mic. I think he's ugly. I don't like looking at him. I hope someone hurts him, like legitimately injures him. I'd love that. Like one of those career enders. I want to see this guy like get Luke Rockholded.
I want to see him fight Israel Adesanya. That's the matchup I really want to see.
What are we gonna do when he eats Israel?
You think he can eat Israel?
Yeah.
I mean, Yoel Romero couldn't take Israel down. Couldn't do anything with him.
Yoel's 40 fucking years old.
But he looks 19.
It doesn't matter. This guy's actually like 23 or something. Like this guy's a killer.
I want to see the fight. I want to see
it too.
No one has ever taken advantage of Israel on the ground.
I think he's going to clobber Israel. He looks so strong.
Be smaller,
he looks like a bigger Khabib. And I hate him for it. And what I'm looking forward is to Nate Diaz. Hopefully the UFC doesn't shit on him. It's the end of his contract, but the way these UFC contracts work, he can't even discuss doing anything for 30. I think it's like 30 days. It might be 90 days where he can't say a word about Logan Paul or Jake Paul or any of that or anything that he wants to do fight promoter wise, or he's in big trouble because of his contract, because the UFC like has that time to make their first bid or something, and he can't be out there shopping. And then I think they can wait like another year on top of that. So like if they want to, they can tie him up legally. And so it's waiting game. Because on the way out, and Nate Diaz is like last minutes on the mic, he's like, oh yeah, thanks Dana White. Y'all gave me the platform to do everything I did. UFC, hopefully maybe I'll come back here, win a belt someday.
Did you see Nate Diaz talk about his shoes?
Oh, I saw Nate Diaz talk about the shoes. So the UFC is first of all, I buy these fucking pay-per-views. I didn't buy this one. I have watched it though. But usually I buy them. And you have plunked down like $80 after your subscription's factored in for each one, maybe more. And it's full of ads. It's like, all right, now the fucking time clock brought to you by Michelob. Oh, and here's the Ring Girl's pussy brought to you by Toyota. And here's Joe Rogan's head brought to you by Geico. And like everything's brought to you by a different fucking company. And you paid for this shit. It's so they're killing it. And then they've gone through the audacity of partnering with The Rock and Under Armour. And The Rock has his own shoe now. You can look it up, see what you think of it. But UFC fighters have to wear it. They have to pimp it. They don't get a dime. And so like, there's this montage of all these fighters. Yeah, it's aerodynamic and advanced. Oh, when I'm wearing my Rock shoes, I'm ready to whoop some ass. Or what? They're paying these guys are just doing what they're told. And then they get to Nate Diaz, and this footage is like from his Instagram because they cut it. And he's like, "Look at these fucking shoes. These fucking ugly ass shoes. They made me wear them. Ugly ass shoes."
He said they fucking suck.
That's funny as fuck.
Good for him.
It reminds me of
now you can trust his future reviews.
What was the gigantic WWE guy? Brock Lesnar. I think Budweiser was a sponsor of the UFC or Bud Light, whichever way you want to look at it at that time. But they wouldn't pay Brock Lesnar in particular. And so like in his huge fight, he just won the belt heavyweight championship. And he's like, I'm going to go home, drink me a Coors Light. That's Coors Light because Budweiser don't want to pay me nothing. Hell, I might even get on top of my wife. He dropped the mic. And it was like, damn, y'all probably should have paid Brock. Because if Brock Lesnar drinks Coors Light, I think I might need one too.
Like, I could be cool like Brock with the Coors Light.